Hey everyone, good to see you again. We are back with another UX teardown. So we've had just a super exciting last year here at the Pages Media, and we've worked on a lot of really cool projects and a lot of really cool customizations. And so I wanted to show you one of those today for a site that we worked on for a pretty unique customization for a pretty niche market. So we worked on a site for a fencing company. So they were a wholesaler for fencing, but then they wanted to get into basically e-commerce and be able to go direct to consumer, but also at the outset wanted the ability to make it easy for their contractors to place orders for materials online. And so they did not have an e-commerce store, and so we worked on this to provide some really cool functionality for their customers. And so for this merchant specifically, Shopify Plus did not make sense. But because of that, they were kind of limited in what they could do in regards to like B2B. So when they were working with their contractors, um, and also it turns out that there's a bit of a gap in the market for like this specific thing. So they wanted the ability to be able to surface really specific products when their contractors are working on or looking at fence panels. And so in talking with the merchant about their needs for this, when they have specific fence panels, they come in different picket styles and different heights and colors. And maybe if you know about fencing, you know this, but this was brand new information to us. And so each size of panel has corresponding posts that the contractors need to purchase. And these are a lot of them are like retrofitted specifically for these panels and gates. And so there's specific posts that they need. So there's line posts and end posts and corner posts and gate posts. And these, some of them are the same and some of them are not the same. And it matters a lot that these are paired correctly together because this merchant specifically also delivers products up to 200 miles. So exchanges would be a bit of a nightmare if someone got a fence panel out there and realized that this was not the correct post. And so there really wasn't we originally had looked at an app or some sort of calculator to be able to do this for them. And there just really wasn't anything. There was a couple of calculators, but it didn't still really give us what we needed. Um, and it was pretty costly, and honestly, like, the back end of it was pretty difficult to navigate. And so for the merchant to have to figure all that out, all for it not to really give them what they need anyway, just really didn't make a lot of sense. So what we decided to do was just go ahead and like build this into the theme. So Taylor, my husband, does the custom development and the code side of things, whereas I just focus on the user experience, like how this looks, how this needs to present itself. And so we came up with an option that we thought was really cool for them, really helpful for their contractor. So I'm going to show you now that you have a little bit of background about what we're looking at. So I'm going to take you to a panel on their website. So this is an aluminum fence panel, and this is their best-selling fence panel. And so what you see here is that we've got a couple of different sizes here. We've got standard, double, and they've got what's called a puppy picket. And then there are different sizes and height. And so this matters a lot for the size of posts that they get. So I'm going to click on standard picket, 36 inches, black color. Okay, so I'm going to scroll down here. And so this is what we had to build custom because there really wasn't anything specifically to indicate. So you can offer like, complementary or accompanying products in Shopify. That's not really a problem. The issue that we were running into is that we needed specific posts for specific size fence panels. So I'm clicked on the 36-inch fence panel. So I see that I've got a blank post at 72 inches, corner post, end post, line post, gate post. So when I click on that height of fence panel, and the picket style and the color, it's going to bring up these corresponding posts for that specific size. So when I come up here, but let's say I want this fence panel to be 72 inches. Okay. I'm going to keep it standard. I'm going to keep it black in color. I'm going to scroll down here and these have changed. So now it's showing me a 96-inch post for all of these because as as we came to find out, if I'm ordering a fence panel in 72 inches, I want the posts to be longer because they have to be dug into the ground. This makes sense. But the reason why some of these are different, and so these are individual SKUs, but some of them are retrofitted. So the way that they worked inventory on the back end is that, like, say a blank post here could be a blank post for this one, but it also could be retrofitted to be something else for a different size. And so we added these in as individual SKUs because it gave the merchant more control over how they could use the inventory. So when we work with variants a lot, but when you have variants, you're pretty limited on how you can like control that data. So the posts were added in as individual SKUs, and that gave the merchant control over like how they use them. And so when an order came into the back end, that they could see the SKU and the size of the panel and know that, hey, this needs to be retrofitted for this. So these continue to change. So if I do double picket style 54-inch in bronze, I'm going to come down here and we've got an 84-inch posts, and now they're in bronze. And so this allows the contractor the ability to come in here and be like, okay, so they're going to come in already most of the time if it's a contractor with the space that they like the dimensions for the space that they're going to put the fence in. And so they're going to know, okay, I need, 4 blank posts and 2 corner posts and 1 end post. So this ensures that the contractor is getting everything they need, and it can be all done right here. So this is more desktop friendly and tablet friendly because this is often the device that we found that their people are using, at least for right now, is they're more contractor. Um, and this ensures that they can get everything that they need for these corresponding panels right on the page. Now, something else that we did, because from a user perspective, we thought, okay, what if somebody like enters this journey from the other side? So, like, let's say somebody's looking at posts first. We need a way for them to be able to match those up to the corresponding fence panels because there's nothing that's going to stop all these like the incorrect things to be added to the cart. So there's nothing that's going to stop me from adding an 84-inch post and a fence panel that doesn't fit that post. There isn't any sort of like safeguard to prevent that from happening, which is why we're giving options. So we see here, like right here, when I change this, it says this is the post this is the fence panel I'm looking at. Double picket, 54-inch bronze. But if I click on this gate post here, so if I'm just checking out specs, we wanted a way to inform contractors, or if, just a regular customer is buying this, to make sure that they know, hey, like this isn't, not all gate posts are created equal. We need the ability to show them, hey, this matches this. So pretty basic and rudimentary, but again, when you're looking at like a very specific niche, we have, when we're working, with contractors, what we found, what the merchant kind of described to us was like, we need like kind of like a no frills, no fluff approach. We don't need lots of colors. We don't need lots of movement. We don't need lots of graphics. We don't need a lot of fanfare. We just need like really simple information laid out for them to find. They don't want to have to navigate around a lot for it. They just want what they need to know right there. And so what we did here was we surfaced on the product pages for the individual posts, so any kind of post, what the compatible panels are. And so this ensures that if they start their journey at posts for some reason, then they see, okay, I'm looking at this bronze gate post, and I know that this is compatible with these specific panels. So that way I'm not just going in and just not adding randomly posts and panels that I think match. but don't match. And so we also did this for the gates. There was specific latches and hinges that went for specific gates. So certain gates have, depending on the size, they either get like a residential or a commercial type hinge. So we basically did the same thing. So if I do um, a double gate, but I do a big one, like 5 by 5, it's going to show me the latch options and the hinge that I need. So there are many latch options that exist here, but there's only one hinge. And depending on the type of gate that I choose, it's going to show me different types of hinges. So, like I said, some of them have commercial hinges and some of them have residential hinges. So we actually use the same strategy for this page, and this just allows, again, for the contractor, or if it is just like a regular customer, to be able to come here and say, okay, I need this gate, but instead of having to navigate all the way to hardware, I see right here that I can do, I want this latch, I want this hinge, and I add these to my cart, and they're in there. So it adds both at the quantity, and this is really helpful because it basically allows the contractor to really kind of bundle items without them necessarily being bundled, because there's some limitations to that. And again, with this specific merchant, there was some real specific things we needed to do in regards to SKU and how things were matched up. So doing something custom was the best option. And so I wanted to point this out because anytime that you can give your customer everything they need, especially if they're purchasing something like a fence or a gate where there is multiple things that they need. It is different in like fast fashion where somebody's buying a dress and you can recommend, hey, these shoes would go great with this. But for industries like this is a must have. If somebody's purchasing a fence panel, they need post. It's not like, hey, these would look great. This is a need. This is an absolute have to have. And so being able to set it up this way for them was really great because their contractors could see everything they needed to on one page and really just kind of bundle everything into the cart, add everything to the cart, and check out from there. So if you work in a really specific niche market and this is something that you're interested in, I recommend, looking into setting it up this way. And if you need any help with that, you can reach out to us. All right. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.